Greetings, Temple Beth Shalom. Rabbi Boxed back with my Parashat D'varim, Torah portion for the week. This week we are entering the fifth book of the Torah, D'varim, the book of Deuteronomy. So this week's Torah portion is Parashat D'varim from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verses 1 through 3:22. And we are literally at the threshold of Canaan, of the Holy Land. So the outline is as follows. The first section is the setting and introduction to Moses' address. He's going to have several addresses in the book of D'varim. Secondly, Moses' review of the journey from Horeb, from Sinai, appointment of tribal leaders, episode of the scouts, the sending of scouts, the consequences, encounters with foreign nations, peaceful encounters with Edom, Moab, and Ammon, and battles against the Amorite kings. Section 3 is Moses' allotment of the land east of the Jordan. And then the fourth section is Moses' charge to Joshua. So let's begin with the allotment of land east of the Jordan. So we're looking at Deuteronomy chapter 3, verse 12. And what's interesting about this, and I've discussed this, I believe, before in sermons, but I want to bring it up again. The Promised Land is equal to all of the land in which the Jews are settled. Now, there are the boundaries of the land as set forth in the Torah, but one of the conditions is that where the Israelite nations settle, that is where the land, the Holy Land, is going to be. That's point one. Point two, Moses is told he will not have the ability to step foot in the Promised Land because of what happened earlier in the Torah with the situation in which Moses hit the rock twice, the distrust of God. That's point two. Okay. So here is the verses. And this is the land which we apportioned at that time, the part from Aroer along the Wadi Arnon, with part of the hill country of Gilead and its towns, I assigned to the Reubenites and the Gadites. The rest of Gilead and all of Bashan under Og's rule, the whole Argov district, all of that part of Bashan which is called Rephaim country, I assigned to the half-tribe of Manasseh. Jair, son of Manasseh, received the whole Argov district, that is Bashan, as far as the boundary of the Geshurites and the Maccathites, and named it after himself, Havot Jair, as is still the case. To Machir I assigned Gilead, and to the Reubenites and the Gadites I assigned the part from Gilead down to the Wadi Arnon, the middle of the wadi being the boundary, and up to the Wadi Jabbok, the boundary of the Ammonites. We also seized the Arava from the foot of the slopes of Pisgah on the east to the edge of the Jordan, and from Kinneret down to the sea of the Arava, the Dead Sea. At that time I charged you, men of Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh, saying, your God has given you this country to possess. You must go as shock troops, warriors all, at the head of your Israelite kin. Only your wives, children, and livestock, I know that you have much livestock, shall be left in the towns I have assigned to you, until Adonai has granted your kin a haven such as you have, and they too have taken possession of the land that your God Adonai is assigning them beyond the Jordan. Then you may return each to the homestead that I have assigned to him. Why is this important? Because if you remember earlier in the Bible, the Reubenites and the Menashites, the tribes of Manasseh and of Reuben, went to, the Gadites as well, went to Moses and said, we want to settle here because we have much livestock and this is good land for the livestock. But they are the east of the Jordan. Therefore, Moses, who is standing here between the east of the Jordan and Canaan, is standing in the Holy Land. If the Israelites are settling here, some of them, that makes that part of the Holy Land. It's a very interesting debate. It's a very interesting thing to think about. Perhaps it's one way in which Moses was able actually to be in the Promised Land without actually being in the Promised Land. Who knows? But that is a very interesting theory and thought. That is what I wanted to focus on this week in D'varim. So I will bid you a Shabbat Shalom, and I'll see you next time.